good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be in this beautiful world. Let's see who joins the live. Let's see. So, I wanted to come on and talk about things that I love about living in North Dakota. There are some cons to living in North Dakota, but the pros outweigh the cons. So I wanted to come on and share what I love about living in North Dakota. Hey, thanks for joining. I can't see who you are to say hi directly to you, but thanks for joining and watching the live. I'm Shantae Charles, and I live in North Dakota. One of the things I love about living in North Dakota is that it's a very safe place. Now, I'm not going to say we have no crime because that would be a lie. We do have crime here. Everywhere has crime, but here it is very, very safe. Very safe. I used to live in Georgia and I used to live in Florida, and I feel safer here than I ever felt in Georgia or Florida. Now, I didn't feel unsafe in those places because I knew where to go and where not to go in Florida and Georgia. You know, you have to, especially in Florida. I didn't live in Georgia that long, only 3 years. But in Florida, you have to know what's the good neighborhood, what's the bad neighborhood, where to absolutely not go at all, or you're going to find yourself in a couple of situations. And sometimes in certain places of Florida, um, in the Miami area, and it could be in Broward County also. It can be anywhere, but certain places you could be going on the highway and on the underpass waiting for the light to turn, and oh my God, people are out, and you're just like, Lord help, Lord let this light turn, let the light turn, let this light turn, green, 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 please. Hello, Eleanor. Hello, thanks for joining in. But I never have that here. I never have that feeling here that, oh God, if I end up in the wrong place or the wrong time, something tragic is gonna happen to me. Hey, Ma, RIP. Thanks for joining the live. I never have that feeling here. Now, I'm not saying every place here is without something, because everywhere you go, there's always somebody that has to act like they weren't raised right or that they don't have good morals. It's always somebody that's got to, do something unsavory. But where I live, I don't have a feeling of being unsafe. I don't feel like if I go out at night and I don't go out with a man with me, my brother, my husband, or my father, that I feel like, oh, I'm looking over my shoulder. Is somebody going to rob me? Now, I'm always going to be aware of my surroundings because I've lived in the city before and just using common sense. But I'm not on guard like, oh my God, it's Christmas time. Am I going to get robbed? Because in certain places, you have those problems, but you don't have that here. Now, Fargo is the biggest city here in North Dakota, and I think Fargo has like 150, 60,000 people. So it's a bigger city. And of course, you're going to have more crime, more things happen, but it's not like Miami. It's not like certain parts of Georgia, Atlanta. It's definitely not like Chicago. It's not certain places like in LA. We don't have those problems here. And like you have homeless people on the street and all that stuff. As far as I know of, unless things have changed very recently, we don't have that. We don't have the homeless on the street. First of all, you cannot be on the street. You cannot be homeless here. Literally homeless, sleeping on the street, sleeping in your car, without the car running or whatever. That's not possible here. You're gonna freeze to death. So there's no one sleeping on the street here. They may decide they're gonna camp out on the street a little while, but it's not gonna last long because they're gonna freeze to death. But it's very safe here. I don't worry about if my children, when they grow up and they leave and go somewhere on their own, if they're gonna end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're gonna because as parents, when you live in certain areas, certain cities, you have to be aware of those things that, okay, I may live in a good neighborhood, but my kids may go to school with kids that aren't in the same neighborhood. My kids may go to wherever and stop at a gas station or what have you, and then because they're wearing a certain color, they're targeted by someone and they're not even involved in the foolishness of the colors and all that kind of stuff. So we don't have those issues here. As far as I know, I never heard of it. But in where I live at, in Minot, we don't have those issues. Now, you do always have somebody that comes to town that don't know how to act like the mama didn't raise them right. But it's not a regular occurrence of trouble here. Most of the time on the news, it's about someone's having a benefit to raise money for someone because someone is having a hard time or what have you. So that's the other thing I love about North Dakota. It is very community based. I grew up in Delaware. I was born in Maryland, grew up in Delaware. Um, I was raised in Delaware, I should say. I was raised in Delaware. Um, but it's a very strong sense of community here. If someone, like, you'll see people that have lived in a community for years and years and they become ill, someone's battling cancer, they have an issue or their house caught on fire or whatever, the community will rally together and start raising money to help that family out. So that's a good thing. I know someone I know personally, well, I know her family, her grandmother and grandfather. Hey, Sam Spurge. Um, she's in a wheelchair. She's in a wheelchair and she got her driver's license. And of course, being in a wheelchair, she needed hand controls. So she needed a vehicle with hand controls. The community, they helped raise the money to get her the vehicle. They helped raise the money by having her parents, her grandparents had different things, sold things or what have you, and the community came out and supported. And the family was able to get the money to help her purchase the vehicle with the hand controls so she can be self-sufficient and independent. That's the kind of communities that are here. That's the kind of communities that are here. It's farmland. So if something happens to a farmer and he needs help on his farm, people are going to go out and help him harvest his crops. If he becomes ill or if something happened and he didn't have a good year, the community is going to rally together. They're going to raise money. They're going to help the family. That's the kind of community it has here. So it's really nice. You really don't see that all too often because you see people that are afraid of their neighbors. They don't want to get to know people, but you really don't see that here. The other thing is people are very friendly here. Now I'm like, I don't want to know my neighbor because I had a problem with one of my neighbors. Only one person I had a problem with. And after that, I was like, I don't want to be bothered with neighbors. But when my husband and I, when we bought our house and we moved in, everyone on the block came, and except for one person, people, one set of people, and I don't know if that's because they're military and they were never home, but that's neither here nor there. But everyone else, they came over, they welcomed us. The one neighbor, he was like, "Oh, you have boys? My kids have some bump beds. They're getting rid of them. You can have them if you need them. They're very fairly. They were rarely used. They look pretty good." And before we moved in, I was telling them, I said, we're not moving in till such and such because we need to paint the house. The paint is ugly. We're going to paint. And one of the neighbors were like, well, what color are you painting? And when I said, he says, oh, I got that similar. I got something like that in my house. And I have leftover paint. Come look and see. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not coming in your house. My husband is not with me. I don't know you. No other man that I know is with you. But he's like, come on, come on, come on. Just come see. Just come see. And I went. And he's like, you mean like this? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I've got leftover paint and you can have it. And I'm like, okay. But that's just the kind of people that are here. Um, we don't own a snowblower because we didn't own a house before. And we found someone on Facebook to come and clear out driveway. And one morning I was getting ready to call the guy, but I looked out. I said, "Did he come already?" I didn't message him. I know I asked him about coming on a regular basis, but I didn't message him. Come to find out, the neighbor across the street, he did it. When my husband came in the next evening, he was talking to my husband, and he's like, I know you just moved in. If you need to borrow my snowblower, you can borrow it anytime. But then he started just clearing our driveway. And when I saw him, I said, "Thank you. I appreciate it. It's really nice of you." And he said, "I know your husband goes out early, comes home late. He don't want to be bothered with doing that when he come home. I know how it is. I can't remember the lady who lives next door to him. She's a widower and she's a elderly lady. He said, I did hers. So I just figured, oh, just come over there and do yours. So it was no big deal. He's like, no trouble anytime. And I'm feeling bad. Like, hey, he's cleaned our driveway a few times. I'm feeling kind of, he's like, don't worry about it. I'm honestly, it's no big deal. It really is no big deal. And I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Love for all. Yes, I'm having a good day. I'm hoping you all are having a good day as well. The healthcare system, it's good. It's not where I live at. We have one hospital. I think that's not so great that we have one hospital, even though the community is not that big. I think you should have a variety or a choice. But we have one hospital here. I've always had good care there. I delivered four babies at the hospital. I had one bad experience, but it wasn't a bad experience with the system. The My doctor was on vacation when it was time for me to deliver, and so I delivered with the doctor on call, and he was a jackhole. He was even rude to the nurse. He was just one of those old timey doctors that felt like I'm a doctor and everybody's beneath me. Stop it, please. I'm doing a video. Okay. Elijah, did you hear me say stop it? I said stop it, and not so loud, please. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Did you load the dishwasher? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Wash it? No, don't start it yet. Okay. Let me use the choices for a bit. Okay. He's not here, so can I play it? That's Aaron's phone. No, this phone you have crap. Oh, yeah. Tell Aaron to help you with it. Close the door, please. A little bit. Sorry about that. My kids came in. You want me to put in the password? Yeah, I don't know what the password. Okay, I'll help you. And can you stop running? Okay. All right, thank you. Close the door just a tad, okay? This much? A little, that much. That's good. Thank you. Sorry, guys. My kids came in. But I haven't had any other than him being rude and just, you know, and I needed stitches, and he, I don't I don't blame the hospital. I blame that he was just a jerk. He was just a jerk. And I was stuck with him because my doctor was on vacation and he literally was back and could see about me. It was like 15 minutes after I delivered my baby, he was there. And not to say that's the norm, but I haven't had any problems. Miss Lex, you have a question? I see you got your hand up. But in Bismarck, there is I think there's two different hospitals. In Fargo, I don't know how many hospitals are in Fargo, but healthcare to me, you get what you need here. You get what you need, and just like, yeah, he was, and I don't even think it was because I was black, because sometimes we've had so many things done to us as black people, and you don't want to say everything is a racism, but sometimes it's hard to decipher. Is it because I'm black, or is it because this person's just a jackhole? And I think his issue was just he was just one of those people that was just nasty to people he thought that he was better than. Because he even was treating the nurse right when she opened the sterile wrong. Excuse me. He was treating her wrong when she opened the sterile gloves and stuff. He was screaming at her about how she opened it. And I'm like, this man acts like nobody else is in here. Not that it was right for him to scream at her, period, but to do it in the presence of other people. I was like, that's just terrible. Yeah, he was an idiot. He was an idiot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. My camera decided it wanted to flip on its own. Sorry about that. But I haven't had any bad other than that, I haven't had any oh, I think my device that I'm holding this phone on, it must be going dead. Sorry about that. My dad has had some serious problems, and he's always had very good care, very good care. So no real issues with health care. Um, my sister-in-law is an OBGYN, and yes, she is black. My brother is not married to a white woman. Not that there's a problem with that, because my family looks like the Rainbow Push Coalition, all kind of everybody. But yeah, she's black. And she's gonna be speaking at the Move to North Dakota Summit. She's gonna be on the panelist. The other thing that I like about North Dakota is that it's very affordable. When I first came here, it it wasn't affordable because we were in an oil boom and people were greedy. I think I got blessed. I got lucky and blessed with the apartment that I lived in. At the end of my lease, it was $695. I think when I first moved in, it was six and a quarter, 650. But the rent could have been in the thousands because it was an oil boom and you had the greedy landlords. But the person who owned my building, he refused to sell, and he said he had the building for years and he wasn't going to be greedy, and that he wasn't putting up the rent, and he refused to sell it to a major corporation. And now rents are normal here now. You can find a 2 bedroom for 900. You can even find a 2 bedroom for less than 900. You can find some 2 bedrooms for 600 and something dollars. It just depends. And the 600 and some dollars, it doesn't mean that it's going to be in the place where you're like rushing to get in your apartment because you think you're going to get robbed. It's not that kind of place. And we have trailer parks here. Now, you do have a couple trailer parks that look like, well, the city needs to get rid of those. I don't know why they let it get like this. But then you have the majority of the trailer parks here are very, very nice. Actually, the nicest trailer parks I've ever seen. Um, they have garages. The trailer will be in one space, and then they have the trailer right next door. First time I've ever seen a trailer with a garage, but really nice. And most of the trailer parks like that, as far as I know of, you can buy a trailer and live in it yourself, but to buy it and rent it out to someone, it gets kind of hard because the management of the trailer park requires for you, they have to approve who you let rent your property. You just can't buy it and rent it out. And I saw a trailer, very nice looking trailer, very, very nice looking trailer, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It was $69,000. Very nice. And I was like, I think the only reason why no one bought it yet, is because you may have a hard time renting it out. And I don't think trailers are a good investment because lot rent goes up and it's something you never really own. But if that's your thing, that's your thing. Um, the food scene, we don't really have a food scene here, to be quite honest. We don't have a really food scene. The people here are very, and I don't like, they're very simple people. And I don't mean simple as in simple minded. They're they're farmers. For the most part, they're farmers, or their parents were farmers. They're just laid back people. You're not going to find restaurants, not here in Minot, that are where you're going to get dressed to the nines and go out to dinner. You're not going to find that. Now, the restaurant where my husband and I had our reception after we got married, it was owned by the actor Josh Duhamel, because he's from North Dakota. but his parents owned a restaurant here, and that was the most upscale thing that you were going to get. And it was really nice. It was, you could get dressed if you want, but most of the time if you get dressed up, and which is like on a scale to 1 to 10, in my opinion, is just dressed up and you're on a 6, people think you're on a 10 here. They think you're on a 10. They're like, "Whoa, where are you going? You're looking really fancy." And I'm like, "This is average." This is average. So the people are just really, really laid back. You're not gonna find a lot of variety. Now we do have Mexican restaurants here. They are really good. Where I live, we have a Jamaican restaurant here. The guy started off with a food truck. It did very, very well, and now he's in a building. But we have a lot of fast food. When Sonic came here, you would have thought something major was coming here. I mean, people, it was all the talk of town. Sonic is coming. Sonic is coming. I was like, y'all never been to Sonic before? What y'all hyped up about? What y'all hyped up about? My coworkers were hyped, and I'm like, what? Y'all hyped up about Sonic? Why? And the lines were wrapped around. The lines were long for probably about a week or so. So yeah, it's the simple life. It's the simple life. Oh, roti and curry. Where you from? Talking about roti. My husband's from Trinidad and Tobago. He would love. Oh, and we do have a Indian restaurant that opened last year, and we have a Thai restaurant here. So we do have a little variety. But if you come here, you can come here, you can get a job, make money, and then you can start a business what is needed here, because we have more people, a more diverse set of people are moving here. Um I'm just going back through the questions. Driving through the snow, it's really not that hard. You get a vehicle that's four-wheel drive, or you don't, or you get a car. It's better to have a vehicle that has four-wheel drive, not just like a low car. But have four-wheel drive, you slow down and you take your time. And hey, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. We had a car that had rear wheel drive on it once. I hated that. I hated that. It was a Nissan Exterior. I hated it because it was hard to maneuver, and then you could get around in the snow, but certain parts of town is very hilly. And one time I was going up this hill, which wasn't a real high hill, but I was going up the hill and I could not make it up the hill because of the rear wheel drive. I had to back up. I was like waving to the people, telling them back up because I have to back up. And they backed up, and nobody got out of their car, cussing me out, carrying on. Like probably if I was somewhere else, people would have been honking the horn, cussing, telling me something. But I just waved, back up, back up. And people started backing up. And I learned my lesson. Hey, don't go that way anymore. Take the other way around. And one of the things about where I live at, so when I first came here, I did not have a car. The car broke down 2 days after we moved here. So uh, we didn't have a car. So I was catching the bus. But where I worked at, so when I first came here, I was working at the nursing home, and the bus stop was not that far out of from the building. So I would know when the bus was coming, and I would just walk out the building when the bus was coming. So I wasn't waiting in the cold very long. Then um we have a city bus here. When I first came here, the bus stopped running at 4 o'clock, I believe it was. Now it runs longer. But the other great thing about living here is we have another bus system that it kind of works like a cab service, because you can call it the night before, tell them what time you want them to pick you up in the morning, and they come right to your house and pick you up. And it's a bus service, and they'll drop you to where you need to be, and you tell them what time you're going to be done and what time you need them to pick you up, and they'll be there. You can even schedule a week in advance. Now, you can't have them waiting when they get to your house. You can't be one of those people that's like, "Oh, I'm coming." You better be ready to walk out the door. And they used to call and tell you, I'm getting ready to pull off and leave you. I don't know if they still call or not. But so you where I live, you don't need a car. And now there's Lyft. When I came here, we didn't have Lyft. We had the cab. It is a very good service. It is very good. When my dad, before he retired, when it would snow or get too bad and he wasn't comfortable with driving in the snow, he would just schedule that to take him to and from work. He would just schedule a week in advance. So it's a very good service. And if you need to go to Bismarck, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours away, depending on where you're going in Bismarck, it will even drive you over there. Now, it's not every day, it's certain days of the week, but it will drive you over there also. I don't know how much it costs now, but before it was like it wasn't that expensive, not that expensive at all. I'm looking back through the comments. I think I saw something about home prices. So home prices here, we have some home prices here. You'll see some homes that are $1 million homes. And I'm thinking, why do we have $1 million home? And it's few and far between. It's not like a whole bunch of $1 million homes. I'm just like, who's paying $1 million? Like, why? And it's probably somebody in the oil industry or one of the doctors here who has been here a long time and set roots or what have you and what have you. Um, but I'm like, why is this house? Why we have $1 million home here? It's not that popping here to pay $1 million, but the house is humongous. It's gonna be okay. It's not like $1 million in Florida or LA or what have you. You're gonna get a lot. Then you have some homes here that are 700,000. You have expensive homes here, but you can buy a home here that is affordable. My husband and I, we paid less than $300,000 for our home. Our house is 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2 car garage. It has a large parking driveway. We can fit like 6 cars in the driveway. Um, the backyard is huge. We have a deck on the back. It's just really nice. I'm not sure if college is free here. I think Williston State College has started offering something, but I'm not 100% sure if I don't know 100% sure if college is free, but college is affordable. You would be amazed by the number of Black students that are here attending the college because school is super super affordable here, very very affordable. One of the nurse that I'm going to have on the panel at the Move to North Dakota Summit, he came here and went to college here, so he's going to be talking about his experience here, where he said, I've been on Indeed and Zillow, and you're definitely telling the truth. Yes, I'm telling the truth. No reason to lie. You can find something here very reasonable, very very reasonable. You can find land here at a reasonable price. It's very affordable here. Most places you're gonna find something for the same price, if you even find something for the same price, but it's like the quality of it is a whole lot less than what you would get for a house here. Like my husband and I, the house we purchased, it's an older home, but the house was well taken care of. It, like I said, it's an older home. The only thing wrong with is that the paint. I don't know if the guy who owned the home before got the paint for free, because it was like, why did you pick these colors, and were you colorblind? And just it just needs things like new light fixtures to make it more modern and up to date. But the quality of home is great. We have a deck on the back. The deck is enclosed. It has a, a a gas grill that's attached to the gas line. Is It's very nice. Is it up to date? Is it the most fancy house? No, but we can afford our mortgage, and I'm sleeping easy, not wondering, oh, if I paid a light bill, not enough food or what have you. Oh, and utilities here. Utilities here are super affordable. When I lived in Florida, my light bill would be like 300 some dollars here. Nowhere near that. No, 300 something dollars there. Nowhere near that here. Utilities are super inexpensive because we have windmills, and we have coal mine here. So very, very affordable. When I lived in my first apartment, our light bill would be like $30. And even in our last apartment with having kids, because kids leave lights on. You got to keep telling them, turn the lights off. Our light bill was never even $100. Never even $100. Very, very affordable. Most apartments here, I haven't heard of any apartment here where you pay your own gas. Never. Now, if you rent a townhouse or a house, of course you pay your own gas. But the apartments here, they pay for water, they pay for your gas, you just pay for your electric. And if you have a apartment where you have coin operated laundry, um, what was I gonna say? Some apartments have laundry in the unit, but they're coin operated because, of course, they collect coins that makes up for the water usage of you having a washer and dryer in your unit. Some places, I found out afterwards that you can ask the landlord to add the cost of the water into your utility bill, into your rent, excuse me, add the cost of the water into your rent, and they will take out the coin operated laundry and put in a regular washer and dryer or what have you. Homeschooling laws, very friendly to homeschooling. In fact, I just withdrew my oldest son from public school today. Tomorrow will be his last day because he's gonna go and tell his friends, "See you later" or what have you. And school system here is very, very good. Very good. I don't have a problem with the school system. Um, I like the school system. The people at the school, they know my sons, they know the Charles brothers. Unlike most places where if your kid is marked absent, you get an automated phone call. No. Here, the person in the office is calling you directly. They call you directly to say, "Hey, is Emmanuel okay? Is he sick? I didn't see it. He was marked absent." I'm like, "No, he was there. I saw him walk in the building." "Oh, I'm gonna call you back. We have a substitute for that class today. I'm gonna walk down there to check, and I'll call you right back." They call back, "Oh, you were right. I'm gonna fix it. No problem." So I like it, but for other reasons, my son, he wants to do homeschool. So I'm like, okay. And I think he needs a little more work on certain things that he should know. And I don't blame the teacher because, it's you can only do so much in a school day as a teacher when you have multiple kids in a class. And I feel like I'm my child's first teacher. So I chose to take him out of public school and let him do um, virtual school. And no, I'm not creating a curriculum. He'll be going to an actual school that provides
I need some flashlight.
virtual classes, and it's accredited. He receives the actual high school diploma where he can go to college. It's accepted by the NCAA, so it's not, one of those things. Close my door back a little bit, please. So, the school system here is it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Manager jobs, you're gonna probably make more than $50,000 a year here. I've seen people work at the gas station as a manager and they make more than that here. I haven't seen any racial tension here. Um, Now, I will say, given the history of North Dakota, and I won't say all, but Native Americans and white people have had some issues here, and not like fighting in the street, arguing with each other. If a native sees a white person, they just, cussing each other out, those kind of things. But there's a history here of what has happened to the Native Americans being pushed off of their land. The government bringing people from, oh God, Scandinavia to have them homestead the land to keep the Native Americans off. And now that very land has oil on it, and other people and their children are reaping the benefits of oil on the land. And so they still remember that hey, you your ancestors, and they don't forget, which you shouldn't forget your history. But racial tension against, like, hardcore racial tension, no, we don't have that. In fact, there was, when I first came here, there's this little town, Leeds, North Dakota. It made the national news. You can Google it, Leeds, North Dakota. I don't know if they were Aryan Nation, neo-Nazi. They were one of those hate groups. They moved to the town and thought they were going to set up shop and take over the town and do their little thing there. It was one black person, if I'm not mistaken, and one Native American in that neighborhood, in that town. Everyone else were white. The white people and everyone in the community band together and said, oh, hell no, we're not having that here. And they ran those people out of town. They called for help from other communities, other cities here in North Dakota, and the people rallied. And needless to say, thank God, they shut that down really quick. I don't know if the guy who started all is still in jail or what have you, because they started digging into his background. They found out he had some criminal stuff going on, and they brought up charges against him. So that didn't quite work out. So racial tension, no, not that I'm aware. And of course, wherever you go, you have some ignorant people that don't like people just because of the color of their skin or what have you. You have that everywhere because, hey, people are ignorant. People, some people are just ignorant, but it's not common here. It's not a common thing here. No, it would have never happened in Georgia or Florida. And see, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, Georgia have a heavily black population," but it's the the piece of black people in Georgia is concentrated in the metro Atlanta area and the surrounding area. It's not like it's all of Georgia. So there's still a lot of racial nonsense going on in Georgia and definitely Florida as well. And I would never say that there's no racism here. I would never say that because there's racism everywhere. That's just a fact, no matter where you go. So it's safe. The people are friendly. There's a sense of a community. The other thing I like is the air quality. Now, I'm asthmatic, courtesy of hanging out with smokers. I've never smoked a day in my life, but I hung out with people that smoke. So take it from me, secondhand smoke does affect you. But I'm asthmatic, and I don't have any issues here with asthma flare up because the air quality is good. Now, the last a couple of years, Canada had wildfires, so you had the smoke coming over from Canada, but that's not like it's on a regular basis. It's not it's not every year. It's not every year. The air quality is really good. Um it's just really good air quality here. The other thing is the sunsets and the sunrises are absolutely beautiful here. Absolutely beautiful. It's like something I've never ever seen before, and I can't really explain it. But it is very, very beautiful. If you see it and you believe in God, you're just in awe of like, whoa, God has created this. And if you see it and you don't believe in God, I'm like, how can you not believe there's a God that created all of this? So it's very beautiful. I love summers here because and this is wild. In the summer, the sun rises early and it will look like 12 noon at 5 o'clock in the morning. And when I worked outside of the home in the nursing home, I love that because I worked at 6 in the morning. And it's like, okay, I'm going out to my car. It's still it's daylight out. It was it was the weirdest thing. Like, why is the sun out and it looks like noonday at 5 o'clock in the morning? And that's no exaggeration. And the sun doesn't go down until after 10 o'clock. Fireworks don't start here until almost 11 o'clock at night because it's not dark enough to have a fireworks show. Last year was the first year my kids, no, year before last, 2022. I'm sorry, I forgot we crossed over to 25. 2022 was the first year my kids saw the fireworks because I'm like, y'all, you guys aren't staying up this late. You got to go to bed. You have to go to bed because it's just not dark enough to have a fireworks show at a decent time. It's going to start at almost 11 o'clock. So that's kind of weird and takes some getting used to. I remember we would be sitting up and talking and talking. And one time we were like, wait a minute, what time is it? We've been talking a long time. Almost 11? Oh my God, I got to go to bed. I have to be up in the morning. So that will happen. And if you're not used to that, that'll freak you out. Now, the other side is that in the wintertime, the sun may not come up till after 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30. But how I combat like getting depressed and the winter blues because it's a real thing, and you'll be like, oh my God, why is you keep busy. You find something to do. When I first came here, I was working. I had to be to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I'm working. I'm busy. Now I'm a mom. I'm busy. I gotta take my kids out to school. And it doesn't even faze my kids. They don't even know the difference. And I have a 4-year old. I thought it was so cute and funny the other week because he's an early riser. But I'm like, I don't want to be up so early. So he got up and it was still dark outside. And he says, is it still dark? And I said, yes. And he laid back down. He laid back down. I said, thank you, North Dakota. Thank you. Yes, that is very weird. Come on, come on. Let me tell you, if you're coming from California, though, please don't come here and overpay for a house. Talk to a local, find out what you should be paying. Don't overpay for a house because that's the problem with some places. Where did that happen? Utah and I think Iowa. Just because it's cheaper than where you came from, that don't mean say, oh well, I'll pay more. No. We want to keep it affordable. We want to keep it affordable. We want to keep it affordable. But come on. Come on to North Dakota. All are welcome. I'm happy for anyone to come here. Just come here with the right mind and don't come with no shenanigans. If you want to do criminal activity, which I doubt anyone on here is into that kind of stuff because why would you be watching? But if you're coming with the right mind, come on. Come here, set yourself up, prosper, set yourself up for either retirement, make the money, invest, save, and then maybe move on to somewhere where it's not as cold and not as much snow. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm still working on having the information put together for the Move to North Dakota Summit. My assistant, she's on a different time zone, so I'm trying to work out getting that done and having her do some other things that she's been tasked with to have that straightened out first. I haven't seen anybody that hasn't been accepting of black people. You have people that don't like change, and it's not so much as black people, it's just okay, I used to be able to get to the other side of town in 5 or 10 minutes. I could go in the store and have a 20-minute conversation with the cashier because we grew up together, and now I can't do that. So they have an attitude about things like that. But I haven't experienced that. I'm sure there are some people that are not accepting of black people because, hey, that's just life. But that's not 100% the case. Well, listen, you guys, I got to go. I got a meeting with someone. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned. Turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when I have the information about the move to North Dakota Summit. I will tell you that it's going to be on the 22nd of next month. So mark your calendars. February 22nd. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much.